In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your AC condenser on your Toyota Camry. It's located on the front of the car. Before starting any job with the AC system, you're going to want to get it discharged by a professional. We're going to remove our airbox. You're going to disconnect our connector here. Push in on this tab and pull out. Set that aside. I'm going to take out these two bolts and loosen this clamp. Loosen your clamp using a 10mm socket. Now we're going to take out these two bolts using a 10mm socket. There's one in the back here. You're going to pick up the airbox, remove your air filter, and set that aside. Now we're going to take out 1, 2, 3 bolts to remove this bottom half. I'm just going to leave my bolts in the hole. There's a harness attached to a holder. You're going to use a flathead screwdriver and pick up that tab. Insert it in and then open up the clamp that's holding the harness in place. Now you can remove the harness from the box and pick it up and out. You're going to have to detach it down here as well. And then set that aside. I'm going to turn this around so you know what I mean by that harness. This little thing here. Just pick this tab up. You can either go in this way or this way and just pull it out after you pick this tab up. And then when you want to lock it in, you push it in, and plastic gets a little brittle over time, but it should lock in. We're going to remove this using a 10mm socket. After you remove those, you're going to pull these out. Just watch out for your harnesses that are on top of the transmission. And you can set that aside. We're moving over to our lines, which is on the passenger side between the bumper and the condenser. I'm going to disconnect this connector and use a 10mm socket to take out this bolt and this bolt. Now I'm above that line, taking out this bolt. And you're just going to disconnect the line by wiggling it and pulling it out. There is an O-ring in there. Sometimes they get a little stuck. And disconnect the top one. Now that those are disconnected, we're going to move on to removing this top bracket holding in the radiator and condenser. Disconnect your horns, by pushing in that tab and taking the connector out. Disconnect the other one as well. Push in that button and wiggle it off. Set that aside. And now we're going to take out the bolts holding this piece on. Using a 10mm, we're going to remove the bolts. Now I'm going to the passenger side. Using a 10mm socket, I'm going to take out these two bolts. We're going to remove this bolt down here. I'm using a long extension going through the bumper. Now we're going to remove this entire bracket and just set it off to the side. Your cable is going to stay attached. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to take out this nut on the driver's side and this one on the passenger side as well. Now we're going to remove the condenser, take it off the studs, and pick it up. Put your new condenser in by sliding it towards the back and lowering it down into place. Be careful not to dent the new condenser. Make sure you line up your grommets on the bottom. There's two holes. I'll lift it up so you can see. There's one there, and there's one on the other side. Line that up, and as you're lining that up, you're going to want to line up these brackets that are on the condenser. There's a guide hole, and then the stud. Do the same on the other side. You can put those nuts on. Do the same on the other side. Now we're over by the lines. I'm going to take out these plugs. There's one here, one there. And I'm going to put some PAG oil on my O-rings. Make sure you inspect your O-rings. Make sure they're not cracked or broken or looking in bad shape. If they are, replace them. Just match them up with what you have. Ours are good, so I'm just going to put some PAG oil on. And I'm going to push them into place, starting with the one on the bottom. Do this top one. Make sure that you're not all twisted up behind where the radiator is, and then it'll go in a little easier. Just apply pressure, push it through, and now we can put our bolts in. Start them by hand first. Do the same on the bottom. Let's snug those up and then we will torque them. Let's torque these lines to 47 inch-pounds. That should do it, and now we're going to plug in our wiring harness. Make sure you hear that click. Now we're going to bring our bracket over and line it all up. Now we're going to bring our bracket over and make sure that that bracket is on the right side of that long bracket. And then we're going to line up our grommets with the radiator guides and drop it in. Once everything's all lined up, we're going to start putting our bolts in. Put the 2 here. And the one on the bottom. If you can reach down in there, you can do it that way, or you can use your extension with the socket to hold it and put it through the bumper. We're going to snug those up. We're going to start with the one on the bottom. Using a 10mm, we're going to tighten this one up on the bottom. Now we're going to move up to the top 2. Snug these 2 up too. And now we can put our 4 bolts in on the top. It's a good idea to get all 4 in first before tightening them down. Make sure all the holes line up. We can tighten those down. Let's plug in our horns. Line it up, push it in. Make sure they're locked in there. You know if it's locked in by it. You can see the other end of that push part. Now we're going to put this back. So you're going to slide it underneath the bracket for the battery and get past those wiring harnesses on top of the transmission. Make sure you line up the bottom of this air vent tube with the container below. And then once you're done doing that, you can put your bolts in here and here. Snug those up, and then put our air box back. You're going to take the bottom half of your air box, line up the two bolts here and 1 bolt here, 2 bolts here, 1 bolt here. Also, you're going to line up this area with this. Get those hands started. Using a 10mm, we're going to tighten these down. Just make sure they're snug. Now we're going to put our air cleaner in. So when you install your air filter, make sure it says front, pointing to the front of the car, and up. Put that this way. Just rests right on top. And then we can put our top on. You're going to have to put it into these two brackets and line it up here, kind of all at the same time. So just pick this up. Feed it into the back. Push it in. Make sure everything's all lined up so you can tighten your hose clamp properly. These two bolts should be lined up here. Make sure your connector is able to be connected. Make sure that can reach. And let's tighten it up. Using a 10mm, we're going to tighten this up. And tighten this up. Plug it in. There's a harness back here. You got to connect that too. So just pick up that tab like I taught you in the beginning and snap it back in. And now we're going to tighten down our hose clamp. Make sure it's snug. Now you're going to get your AC system recharged and checked for leaks.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.